Alright, what is up, YouTube? Valkyrie is back. I have another Pokemon battle for you. This time, I will not be on the bottom corner, actually. I will be on the top corner. Palkia OP is my name. Um, so, I found this battle earlier today, and that would be Saturday, I believe. But, anyways, so my buddy Pirate gave me this team. Um, as far as I know, I think this is his original team idea. So, mad props for him on that. Um, the way it works is there's obviously the Mega Pincer. I got a Mega. Wow, I'm really out of it today. Sorry, It's really tiring where I am. It's really late, is what I mean. But anyway, so I got a Dragon Dance Haxorus, Choice Banded, Dragonite, Choice Scarf, Landers T, Sash Lead, Stealth Rocker, Taunt, Terrakion, and a Specs Raikou. Um, Couple things about this team that I noticed when he gave it to me. Well, for one thing, one huge issue that I find is that there's no defogger, and that's a huge issue because two of the Pokemon really rely on Stealth Rocks, being not on my side, namely the Mega Pinsir, both in its unmega evolved state and its mega evolved state, as well as Dragonite, because then I lose the multi scale right off the bat. Um, and then it doesn't really like entry hazards in general because if you look at it, maybe half my team doesn't like spikes and toxic spikes. I mean, they're at least susceptible to it, especially a Haxorus because it'll get rid of the Lumberry easily, which can also be a pain in the butt. So yeah, that's my team. Now, evaluating his my opponent's team, I was thinking that he might lead off with Pangoro if it's the Scarf Parting Shot user. Um, Another possible lead is his Flygon Choice Scarf with U-turn, or he could run the Ambipom. Now, out of the three, I was thinking that Ambipom was the most likely lead because it has the Technician boosted Fake Out, which will hurt either way. So, without further ado, let's get on to the battle. Alright, he's going to lead off with Ambipom as I lead off with Landorus. And I chose to lead off with Landorus because I knew out of the three possible Pokemon I thought he was going to lead off with, um, the whatever this is, Ambipom, Flygon, and Pangoro, they're all physicals. So in general, the Intimidate works great for in either case of lead. Obviously, he's going to go for the Fake Out just to get some damage. Now he realizes that I don't have leftovers, which is why he knows that I'm Scarfed. And Scarfed Landorus is definitely a huge threat to his team, mainly because I can knock off an item on any of his Pokemon except for the Charizard, which I am fearing to be Megazord X or Y. I'm kind of thinking it might be X, but I don't know for sure. I won't find out until later, but I say that because um, he has a Feraligatr, so I'm thinking that he wouldn't use a Mega that would weaken stab water moves, but it looks really random in its structure, so I'm really not entirely sure what my opponent is thinking in terms of team structure. So I'm thinking maybe it's Megazord X, but I don't know for sure. In either case, I know that he will either try to get knockoff and get the Choice Scarf off of me, or he will U-turn out. Either case, Terrakion is a good Pokemon to switch into because if he goes for the knockoff, I get the +1 attack from the Justified ability boost. And if he goes for the Momentum Shift U-turn, that's okay because Terrakion uh, will resist the hit. Even though I do lose my Sash, it's not very necessary. I mean, at least in this point of the game, because Feraligatr, yes, that could be a bit of a problem, but a close combat cannot KO um, from full health Feraligatr. So as you can see, he's going to U-turn out. and he reveals Life Orb, which is pretty standard. Now here, I go for the taunt, and you may be thinking, Valkyria, what the heck are you doing? Well, the thing is, I don't want him to set up a +2 sword stance. And if you look at my team, I'm gonna get wrecked by anything that I have. And I know that Terrakion is the perfect setup opportunity because I cannot Oko with close combat. All I can do is pretty much switch out. And I'm fearing that he will predict my switch out and try to go for the Ice Punch to possibly break my multi-scale on Dragonite, or severely weaken my, what is it called? Oh yes, Lander's Teeth. So because I'm fearing that, I don't want him to set up at all, and I'm pretty sure he is going to take this opportunity. So I'm going to go for the taunt and predict him to go for this Sword Stance. However, he reveals Dragon Dance. Now, this was honestly not well thought out on my part because um, this is a bit of a disclaimer, but I didn't play Pokemon for quite a while, so I was making some pretty half-baked guesses, I suppose you could say. I really wasn't fully considering the possibilities, especially since I made such an aggressive play. I like to play aggressively, but one thing I've learned throughout all my days of playing Pokemon is it's gonna bite you eventually if you try to play super aggressive. Only play super aggressive if you know you can afford to. And I just felt like, simply put, I guess you could say I felt like doing a YOLO right there. Alright, so anyways, moving on. Now here I'm thinking if he stays in, he's probably gonna go for the direct attack, which is a good opportunity for me to just get an outrage. But he switches out to Ambipom, so I don't want to break my multi-skill yet because that multi-skill could come in handy. You never know when it's going to come in handy. So I'm going to switch out to Landorus again. And what he should have done, and here I kind of thought that he would fake out again, which is another correct play. However, he probably should have just U-turned out, to be honest, because either way I'm gonna set up. Either way, he doesn't know I'm a banded Dragonite yet, so he probably thinks I'm gonna go for the Dragon Dance. So yes, that does make sense. However, in either case, all he's gonna do is break my multi-scale, and I'm gonna always get the Dragon Dance up according to what he thinks so far. Because if he goes for the fake out, then I lose my multi-scale, I flinch, he U-turns out on the next turn, I get a Dragon Dance. He U-turns out, I get a Dragon Dance, but I don't flinch. So really it's only a one turn difference, but in either case, that was probably the safest play. Now, my Landorus is getting down to a pretty bad amount of HP because it's offensive, it's not bulky. And because I know he's going to switch out, I'm predicting something to come in, possibly the Flygon, which is why I go for the knockoff here actually. And it was it was quite amusing because this is actually part of a live narration that I'm gonna probably upload later. But it's an up. Sorry, I'm really tired right now. I apologize for this bad narration, but he was telling me like the Flygon could come in or something, and so I should go for the U-turn. Or actually no, he said go for the Earthquake, I believe. Yeah, he said go for the Earthquake, and I was like, nope. I guarantee you, he's gonna try to bring in Flygon because it doesn't take much from the U-turn, and if I go for the knockoff, I'm gonna pretty much make Flygon useless. And I do go for the knockoff here. Now, I also sort of bite myself in the butt here because what I should have done is just U-turn out. I mean, either way, I shouldn't have gone for the Earthquake as Pyro suggested, but I did lose a bit of momentum. However, looking back on this, I guess it's you got to sort of weigh in what matters. If I go for the knockoff, Flygon can't really outspeed, so it's not really much of a threat for late game sweep. If I go for the U-turn, it will be a late game sweeper, but I will keep my momentum. But I probably would have gone for the knockoff in either case. However, he does outspeed me, and I do not want to take an outrage. And he knows that you can go for an outrage in either case, so he's just going to go for it. So I'm going to just stay in, do a little bit of damage, let him go for the outrage. And now I go in here. I'm just going to go straight for the Mega Evolve because this is a Hyper Cutter Pinsir. This is, and for those of you that don't know what Hyper Cutter is, because I mean, like, who uses Hyper Cutter? But Hyper Cutter basically functions like Metagross's Clear Body ability. So you don't get any attack drop from abilities. So stuff like Intimidate Gyarados will not have an effect. I could see it working because a lot of people are so used to the Moxie ability abusers that they just switch out because they know that if you're at a low amount of HP, they're guaranteed to go for a quick attack to try to get the HP, which is why I honestly don't see the point of Moxie anymore. So I guess I like it, but I'm gonna go for the quick attack either way. Get the revenge kill. He's gonna bring in Ambipom. I know he's gonna go for the fake out again. Can't remember what I did here. Oh yes, I go into Terrakion now. Um, Out of the moves I believe Ambipom gets, I think it has Return or Double Hit, one of those two as a stab option. Fake Out and U-turn, I believe it gets, and then of course Knock Off. So that's its move set. I haven't seen a low kick user lately, but I was thinking, what if it has low kick? But in either case, yeah, that's not really logical thinking. But I was thinking, well, he does have some things that could resist it or come in and hard switch, I suppose. Although I don't really agree with that play at all. But to be fair, I didn't really care about Terrakion because I wanted the rocks up ASAP. That's all I cared about at this point, since it does hit everything except for Pangoro with delivering a good 8% switch in damage, I believe. But more importantly, it's for Charizard. Uh, I guess the close combat didn't really matter because there's quite a few things that just won't die in one shot, I suppose. Plus, they can outspeed and revenge kill, so I just wanted the rocks basically. And he's gonna switch out. I don't know why he didn't go for the U-turn there, but who cares? Now Pangoro comes in. He makes a questionable play by. Sorry, that's my phone. He makes a questionable move by staying in. Um, I don't really understand why, and the reason why is because usually their choice starts with parting shot. Now, and if he did go for the parting shot, that would have helped sort of move the momentum in his favor. Um, but he's just gonna let it die apparently. Sorry. Now he's gonna go. Now I'm pretty sure that based on the previous experience, he's going to attack. Now this is again another play that I really wasn't thinking about because what I should have been thinking now that I'm actually a bit more cognitively active right now. Um, well, I suppose you could say that he's probably going to predict me to predict him to learn from his last mistakes, which is why he is going to go for the sword stance again, which I'm going to predict, which he should obviously think that I'm going to know that he's going to know that I'm going to predict. Um, but in either case, I just wasn't thinking. So, but in either case, I think he's going to go for the direct attack. and I know he's not going to try to predict, so he's going to go for the waterfall. And oh my gosh, my phone. Sorry. Um, now I'm good. And since I know he's going to just go for the waterfall, I'm just going to go straight out to Haxorus. And I believe I'm just going to go out for the outrage because I do not want to risk him staying in, predicting me to set up. Plus, an outrage is going to hurt anything. And he does reveal it's Zard X, so but that's fine because I have return, and that's gonna basically clean him up. He can't kill me with Aqua Jet, so I know I can live any hit, and now I can go for the quick attack, go for the super effective hit, and that is gonna be the end of the battle. So oh my gosh, my freaking phone. Sorry about that. Um, so that leaves me with a 4-0 victory. My opponent was pretty good. I think he could have, I guess he could have done a little bit better with trying to shift the momentum over because, for one thing, he was using a pretty low tier team. And the thing is, low tier teams aren't bad, but in order to make them really useful in hyper offensive teams that you normally face in OU, you need to know how to use what you got. And uh, well, with his team, he could have. I mean, he had a parting shot user. He had a U-turn, quite a few U-turners. So he could have done quite a bit to just shift the momentum and do some chip damage until he could just full on sweep with Zard X and Feraligatr. But you never know. All right, so that was, I think, my second narration. Hopefully it wasn't as crappy as my last one. I know that I didn't do a great job on that one, but I think I did a little bit better this time. Let me know in your comments any tips, suggestions from my subscribers.